I really need a haircut. Howdy, folks, and welcome back to WandaVision. We're up to episode 5. At this point, still entitled episode 5. The thumbnail kind of gave it away that it's probably the 80s. So we'll see. Actually, I think the thumbnail actually at this point it's like 2 hours after it was released. I think the thumbnail at this point does have a title. I think it said something like in a very special episode or something like that, which is kind of very 80s as well. So I think we're definitely into the 80s. So it looks like we're in the show, in the WandaVision show, the show within the show, as opposed to being in the outside world. However, I wonder if there's going to be a little mix of both. Are we still going to get some scenes outside with them, still working on things or working things out or talking to people? Is Doctor Strange going to get involved? I mean, since this is, Kevin Feige said this is going to lead into Doctor Strange, the new movie in the series of Doctor Strange. I have to wonder if Doctor Strange is going to make an appearance, or is just all going to, whatever happens, whoever's involved here then rolls into Doctor Strange, and then that's the first time we see him. I don't know. I kind of hope we see somebody big other than these two, somebody else big from the MCU. Would be really cool before the series is over. But last episode was a really good catch-up. It was great to see the outside. It was great to see Kat Dennings again. I love her. So yeah, let's just dive right in, because this is in the show within the show aspect. This is continuation from episode 3, right? So here we go into essentially episode 4 for them and 5 for us.
Previously, don't you want to sleep?
Okay, so are we doing Full House? What are we doing?
Would you mind grabbing their binkies?
Viz now. Okay, cool.
Binkies all round.
She can't affect them.
And
Just take it from the top.
Oh, interesting.
Looked at you.
how did she look?
Yeah, the question is really how aware is Agnes, right? Because we saw in the last, I guess 2 episodes ago now, episode 3, that she and the other neighbor were aware that something was going on, and they were not. They were very hesitant to say it. Agnes, however, we've always been suspicious that she knows a lot about what's going on. So, assuming she is fully aware of what's going on and playing a role willingly, then why would she have done that? Why would she have kind of broken the fourth wall in a way that Wanda and Viz were not expecting? I don't know. I mean, maybe she isn't as fully aware as we think. Maybe she is affected by this to some degree, or maybe she is so. I'm not going to say the word bought in, because that would imply it's all voluntary, but maybe it is. But she's so in on the whole idea of doing TV shows in the different periods that her brain just went to, I'm an actor on a TV show, and she knows that Wanda is the director, essentially. I mean, that's what happened, but why Agnes got there is the real question. Was it something she did to try to push Wanda? Is she trying to force her into making a decision or making a choice by confronting her with the fact that she knows it's not real? Or was it something else? Was it involuntary? Again, they're doing a really good job of leading us a little bit here and there, and we don't really know which it is with Agnes. Is she fully aware, or is she a little bit aware? Is she, is she just along for the ride?
Well, I didn't. Oh.
What kind of babysitter do you think I am? I'm just gonna go and...
Daddy?
Oh, they grew up. What do you know? Kind of an 80s intro, but I'm not getting the reference. As a kid. Still not quite sure I'm getting the reference. I know I recognize it's an 80s thing, but
I do remember.
oh, cool! It is inside and outside.
She does that.
I think I recognize that medical tech now too.
We are now assessing.
Yeah. So unfortunately, I thought that the head of the investigation here, the sword director, I thought he was a good guy. He was making some really intelligent comments before, but he's kind of, I guess when he was cutting to the chase with Darcy before, it was just a sign of the fact that he likes to cut to the chase, and he also likes to cut to his own chase, if you will, and come to his own conclusions. And he's kind of railroading Jimmy here, and coming to his own conclusions that Jimmy wasn't coming to about Wanda. He was still, thinking that Wanda was a good person, trying to figure out what happened to her, why she's doing this. Whereas the director is pretty much saying, well, she was a bad seed to begin with. They gave her a shot. She turned bad again. She's definitely a villain. I don't know if we should jump to that conclusion yet, director. But,
Thanks, Jimmy. Bring up the visual.
At least Monica's on their side.
This morning, our location of the Vision's corpse.
Oh, they're putting it in. They're putting it in. They're putting in the deleted scene. Oh man. Now you have to wonder. The actors, the lead actors, were in an interview, and they and I think Paul brought up the deleted scene from Endgame, where Wanda went and stole Vision's body, dead body, from where it was being stored. And now I have to wonder if it really was a deleted scene or a non-filmed scene, I guess. Maybe from Endgame. I don't think it was necessarily deleted. It was just never filmed. Or if he was just doing that as a way to hint at this scene coming up, but not spoil that it was in this show. But it looks like they're giving us a scene where Wanda goes and steals Vision's body. That's very interesting. Wow, they were tearing it apart. Yeah, stole Vision's body, but you notice they were tearing it apart. They were working on this thing. To her, that's going to be a serious violation and very gruesome. I mean, from a scientific standpoint, knowing that he was no longer had any life, it was, not horrible, but to her, wow.
Someone might pop over.
Hi, kiddos.
Yeah.
With exactly.
Oh boy.
How about Sparky?
What weren't you telling me?
Uh-oh. She gonna rewind again?
Dog, Daddy.
And now they'll be 10 years old. Okay, so she did notice that. Wanda was pointing out that Agnes didn't know. Again, is Agnes fully aware? But Wanda was pointing out that Agnes didn't seem to notice when the boys went from infants to 5 years old. And here, she clearly noticed it. She said, let's hope the dog stays the same size. And that was an 80s sort of joke that would fit into the show. But was it a giveaway to Wanda that Agnes knows more, or is more aware? Getting the coffee, Jimmy? Come on, man.
Okay, I've got a base engineer who'd be up for this challenge.
Who?
Shape starting to catch on.
Oh, that's interesting.
You really want
Darcy's onto something there. I didn't even realize that. Maybe that's the reason it is hexagonal. Is because the short version of his hex, and that's a magic witch thing, and that would be kind of clever if that was the reason they chose that particular shape. That's awesome.
to go back in there. And props and wardrobe are solid.
They're finally getting onto the fact that the kids might have been created.
Far exceeding anything.
Hadn't initiated a blitz.
Oh, yes!
Nobody else came close.
They're calling it out in the show, how powerful she is. And then, of course, Jimmy's coming back with... Is it Jimmy coming back with Captain Marvel?
Argue that Captain Marvel came close. Whoa.
You really need to tell people you're going to shoot in a situation like that, in a facility like that, because there should be some armed guards rushing in now.
Whoa!
Oh, back to computational services.
Cowabunga, dude.
There is no internet at this point. Oh, he's talking about bulletin board. Oh, Commodore 64. Bulletin boards. Technically, the internet did exist in the 80s, just to be clear in case somebody is being pedantic here. It existed since was it the late 60s? When ARPANET? Or definitely the 70s. In the 80s, I was connected to the internet, Usenet groups, UUCP for email. The internet existed. The World Wide Web didn't exist. So surfing the net didn't really become a thing yet at this point. But cool. It looks like they're dialing into, maybe they are going straight into the internet. Maybe they're going to do some news groups and stuff, or some gophering. Look it up. Oh boy. Is he going to be able to talk to them through this?
It's a joke. Just make her stop.
Wow. So that whole thing is not surprising to us. We kind of got the impression that she was manipulating them. She was in their head, as Norm said. So that's not surprising. But the fact that Vision, outside of Wanda's presence now, has gotten an indication from the outside and then was able to break him out and listen to his frantic panic and his pleas to get her to stop her. Again, without Wanda present, so Wanda may not know that happened and can't reverse it. Now, are we on that path to Vision being the one who stops this? Because that would be kind of poignant and kind of very emotional for Wanda, I guess, if Vision was able to convince her to stop, even though it may mean him dying again.
A step.
Do you have a brother, Mom?
Oh boy. What's going on? Wanda sent something. Oh. Well, surely she's sending the drone back. But is it going to come with a message? I'm a little bit disappointed that the writers have chosen to create a gung-ho, shoot 'em first, ask questions later version of what's essentially a paramilitary organization, SWORD. It's so disrespectful to actual military people and actual leaders of, or workers or members of organizations like this, that all they care about is, okay, we've got a threat, let's kill it. They actually kind of want to know what they're doing before they do that, and decide if they're going to do that it's kind of the last choice. So it's really disappointing that they've chosen to do that with this leader. I hope he doesn't turn out to be that kind of a cartoon, two-dimensional, flat character like they're trying to portray him as right now. He didn't seem to be that way. So in this episode, they're making him look that way. Hopefully it's for a reason. That looks like a person. Was it? Oh my God. I did not think she'd come out of the bubble.
Yours?
Oh boy. She transforming the wall in some way to prevent anything from coming in?
Make a mess.
Okay, somebody's going to have to tell me this reference. I don't get it. It seems vaguely familiar, but I'm not making the connection. What is this a reference to? Obviously it is. They all are. All the commercials are.
Yes, you didn't mean to.
It's too sad.
An 80s show, life
Fix
lessons, right?
anything, Mom. Fix it.
Reverse death.
You talking
No
to
matter
yourself
how sad it makes us.
or them? Since that's something she would have controlled, I have to wonder. I mean, the dog's death would have been something she allowed to happen or did happen, made happen, did happen. I have to wonder, was she doing it in a way that she's trying to subconsciously tell herself to stop this? That she has to leave Vision dead and get on with her life? And doing it in the subconsciously in the form of a life lesson in an 80s sitcom to her sons? Because I can't imagine anybody on the outside did any other factor. I mean, Agnes maybe? Well, yeah, if Agnes is self-aware, maybe Agnes did, I hate to say this, but essentially kill the dog to try to send a message to Wanda? Because Agnes is definitely making comments like she's aware of everything that's going on still. So I'm on board with the people who think that she is mostly, if not fully aware. So did she do it to try to snap Wanda out of this? And if so, is she not an antagonist, Agnes? Is she helping the outside, the world? Or what exactly? Yeah, it's just all still a mystery. It's a sitcom, but it's a mystery.
Turn in for the night so that you can.
She's not
change
reversing this.
everything over again. No, Wanda.
Where?
The credits and the applause indicate that she's trying to just to control him, I guess, to move on, to set him back on course, but he's not. And now she's engaging in the argument with him while the credits are rolling, which is really cool. Is that because she didn't really want to set him back on course, or because she can't.
For me, Wanda!
He doesn't know he's dead.
You've never talked to me of this started in the
Ooh.
first place.
What
Is
we're
she
doing
telling the
here,
truth?
It's wrong.
So are all the theories right that some other Mephisto, whatever, some other entity or person set this world up for her so that she could be happy, and she's embraced it and accepted it and said, yes, this is what I want, but she has no idea how it all came to be? If that's the case, maybe she's woken up and she's not going to keep reversing or rewinding anymore.
I didn't.
Agnes, I imagine? Is it her brother? Oh no. That kind of reaction, I've been suspecting that her brother might show up to complete her family, to keep her there happy and not wanting to leave. Was that her brother? Yep. However, yeah, she's not doing this. She's not doing this. She can control things in here. She absolutely can. And she can rewind things and everything. She's basically the director. But she didn't set up the studio. She isn't the producer, if you will. Somebody else really did set this all up. And she's playing along, just like everybody else, because it makes her happy. And whoever it was saw her freaking out and decided, you know what? How do we calm her down again? Give her back the last part of her family. Well, not the last part. Her parents are gone, but the last part she's most missing. Okay. So, again, double check. There's no hidden scenes. Come on. Don't do this to us. Don't sneak one of these in. No. Okay. So the reason I said you sort of hesitated when I saw Quicksilver, Pietro, is that isn't the same actor. That's the actor from X-Men, I think. I think that's Evan Peters and not Aaron Taylor Johnson. Yeah, I've got IMDb up in the other window. I'm just staring at their pictures, and I think that this one is played by the one from X-Men, and not the one that was playing him in Age of Ultron, which is also really kind of curious if it's true. I think it is. I mean, I'm looking at their faces, and this looks like Evan Peters to me. That's really cool because it's also got this meta tie-in to the fact that the X-Men is now owned again by Marvel. X-Men, the movie capability, is owned by Marvel again. And they want to bring the X-Men into the universe. Kind of a double meta meaning and very interesting. But, man, there's so much to digest in this one. First of all, I like the new format of a mixture. I did not expect Wanda to come out of the Hex, as they're calling it. Did not expect her to come out in full regalia, full costume, and basically demand that they leave her alone. I did not expect that. I didn't think that would happen. It was really cool. It was also cool. I mean, the whole time they were pointing their guns at her, I was thinking to myself, they should be ready to pull the trigger if she looked like she's going to hurt them. Hurt anybody? And she was doing that multiple times and they didn't pull the trigger, which was interesting. I know I sound almost contradictory when I said that the leader, I'm disappointed they made him as a shoot first, ask questions later kind of person. And then I just said I expected the soldiers to shoot first and ask questions later. But they also had kind of rules of engagement, I'm sure, and those would include if you believe life is going to be threatened or life is going to be harmed, you can shoot. And they didn't do that. But anyway, that's a minor point. But it was really cool how she used her power to turn them all to point to him before she left. And again, like Monica was saying, Wanda doesn't want to hurt anybody. She's not trying to hurt anybody. She protected Monica when she ejected her. She doesn't want people to die. In fact, I am absolutely 100% convinced now that dog's death was not Wanda's doing. She seemed sincerely shocked that it happened. But tried to take it as an opportunity to explain, death as part of the sitcom role. I think Agnes did it. She's the one that came out of the bushes with the dog and had an explanation, but she did it. So she is mostly, if not fully aware I'm going to go with fully now, considering the fact that Pietro just showed up, which is what they needed to do to calm Wanda back down, because she was not reversing Vision when Vision was confronting her. Vision was, confident that she was doing it. And she was like, I'm not doing this. I'm not controlling everybody's lives. And I believe her too. She's not. She's not doing that. She can't tell everybody what to do and all of that. Somebody else or some other thing is doing that. So now I'm totally on board with the people who are like, it's not all Wanda. Like we got at the end of the episode where Monica said it's Wanda, it's all Wanda. So somebody else is this Mephisto. I'm not familiar with the character. I've heard the character's name. I'm just not familiar with the material, the source material. So I guess I'm going to look that up a little bit, or maybe just be surprised. I think I'll just be surprised. I'm not going to look it up. Working with Agnes, or it's just Agnes. Maybe she's powerful enough to do all of this. We don't really know who she is either. I know that there's speculation about who she might be. Again, another character I don't know anything about the source material for, so I don't know. So now I'm on board with this whole thing of somebody else set this up for Wanda, and Wanda is very happy to just stay here and be happy with her life, and she doesn't want to leave. It's almost like they set up a trap, a honeypot trap, whatever they call it, whatever the term is around it, to keep her here. They set up this trap. I don't know if she may have fled because she did steal Vision's body. That was on film. They got that on video. They saw that. So she fled with Vision's body somewhere. She went somewhere probably in her grief, and then some other force or some other person sensed it and decided to take advantage of it. And maybe she fled to Westview. Maybe that's where she kind of stopped to just deal with her grief of losing Vision, which she didn't have time to do. Because if you recall, Vision died. She was dusted. She came back 5 years later, fought against the man who killed her love. And then that's not all we saw. We saw her at the funeral of Tony Stark, which I imagine happened just before her decision to steal Vision's body back. She was still dealing with the grief, but she never really had time to deal with the grief fully, and she wanted to have what was left of him with her. I totally get that. But she must have gone somewhere, probably Westview. Somebody sensed it, set up this whole hex around her so that she could just bring him back. So she probably isn't bringing him back. She was shocked to see him in his death state in the previous episode. So I don't think she's animating him either. But I think she is well aware that while he's in this hex, he's quote unquote alive. And that she believes that if he leaves, he won't be. That much I believe. So she is not, I don't think, people are saying she's the antagonist. I don't think she is. She is to some degree, in that she is the representation of what's going on here. She's not, when the director confronted her and said, you're keeping an entire town hostage, that I think her response would indicate to me that she didn't do that. That wasn't something she did, but she doesn't want to change it because it means losing Vision. So I think, in a sense, she is a victim. People talk about her being a victim too. She is to some degree. She's also doing some things, that she's perpetuating this. She could probably end this if she wanted to, or maybe she can't. But I mean, she could at least try. And it looked like she might have been on the path to doing that, to trying to end it at the end there when her brother showed up. Again, because some other person or force is controlling this and decided to make the brother show up to calm her down, to give her another reason to stay, right? I think that's really what it is. It's another reason to stay, so that she won't just realize that Vision pleading with her and her own discussion with her sons about death and moving on and having to come to terms with it, all of that was leading to Wanda saying, enough, end this. But then they brought the brother in. And now can she do it? Can she do that with the brother as well? But she must know right? She knows Vision isn't really alive. She even said so. She hinted at that when he and she were arguing there just a minute ago. So she knows the brother's not alive either. How long will this last? I mean, obviously this is a short-term series and it has an end, so obviously it doesn't last forever. But I'm just curious how long she will be subdued by her brother being back and calmed by her brother being back. When will she snap out of it again and say, you know what? Yes, enough is enough. I've had my time to grieve. I have to move on. And then when that happens, that's going to be when the real antagonist shows up and we're going to have the big fight and confrontation. And I think it's going to be between Wanda and that person or that entity, whoever's doing this. I think that's where the big battle's going to be, is she's finally going to snap out of it and say, no, stop. And then you got to ask the other question. Why is this person doing it? Are they leeching energy off of her? Are they being a parasite? Are they somehow taking power from her? She seems pretty powerful. Is this controlling these other people, these innocent people? Does that somehow feed this person? What does this person want? What is their goal? Right? I mean, I can kind of come to the theory that a lot of people have come to and agree with it, that somebody else is putting Wanda in this place and she's comfortable or has been comfortable staying there. But what is the other person getting from it? That's a question that we really need answered, and we don't have an answer to it. And I guess that other person is inside the hex, right? Because, well, I'm just saying that because I would think that somehow the people on the outside would get a sense that somebody on the outside was controlling this. Anyway, maybe not. What are they getting from it? I don't... That is a big question. And I guess if I did research on this Mephisto character or whatever it is, I might figure out what they leech, what they get, what feeds them. I don't want to. I want the show to tell me, so I'm not going to look that one up. Is it just like life energy? Is it her power? I mean, what? Is this person slowly killing people and eating them or something? Whoever's controlling this, so that nobody on the outside could tell, and Wanda's not in control of everything, so she doesn't know everybody in the town. It does explain why she accepted Monica's character without, realizing at that time that she didn't belong. We all kind of assumed that she just rolled with it, that she knew she was from the outside and just gave her an identity and rolled with it. But I don't think she knew either. I think it was a new person. I think everybody she meets for the first time is a new person to her. And everybody inside makes little comments and references to Wanda's power. Like the male guy. I'll get there eventually. The male guy saying that your mother can do anything or whatever he said. Your mother can do it. Your mother won't let that happen. Kind of indicating that they are aware that she's very powerful. And I don't think that's because they think that she's totally in control. Maybe they do, but I don't think they're right. But they do know that she's powerful, that she has abilities. So, yeah. Okay, I'm totally on board with you guys. Wanda's, I'm not going to say a victim, but she is being used, right? She is for something. Still don't know what, but she is being used. She has been given a place where she can be happy, and she doesn't want to leave. She didn't create it, though. I'm on board with you guys. She didn't create it. Wow. I can't wait. This got me super excited. Last episode was really cool. This one, everything seems to have changed, and I really want to know where it's going to go from here. Let me know what you guys think in the comments, what your thoughts are. You can try to spoil me on Mephisto and stuff. I don't really care. I'm just not going to go do research on my own. If that's the name, Mephisto. I don't know. But let me know in the comments what you thought. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time. Bye-bye.